Hedera continues to make history in this space, and regardless of if you like or hate Hbar, you need to be aware of it. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. For all those viewers out there, if you're not following me on all social platforms, you need to right now. There is a ton of content going live on all platforms. Go down in the description below and follow me on all platforms, and make sure that you are joining the free Discord to make sure that you are dominating this market. With that in mind, let's go back in time real quick to May 28th. That's right. A little over a year and almost, well, now it's actually a year and 2 months. 10 billion. That's how many transactions Hedera had back in May of 2023. Today, we could see that Hedera crossed 61.5 billion. Guys, this is insane. 14 months ago, we celebrated Hedera completing 10 billion transactions. I remember when we hit 1 billion transactions and 5 billion. And I specifically remember 10 billion. And after that, let's just be honest, the milestones just became easier and easier to hit. At this point, it seems as though Hedera will be the first network to officially surpass over 100 billion transactions. And you want to know what's crazy about all of this? If we go over here to Metrica, we could see that year to date, in just the last almost 8 months, and remember that August isn't even here, August isn't even over, almost 25 billion transactions. That means that by the end of this year, we could witness Hedera having over 50 billion transactions tied to it. Not only does this prove how scalable Hedera is, but it also proves that there's levels to the game, okay? Now, you might be saying, well, Nick, these are not really resulting in, volume and value for Hbar. And yeah, right now, you got to remember how much money these transactions are actually bringing in. It's not going to affect Hedera just yet. But I do believe that we are going to have a major use case going live on Hedera that will be doing these types of transactions and this number of transactions almost every single day. Now, is that going to happen in the next week, the next month? We don't know, but I do believe that that is going to happen. You got to remember that this is all from basically just one enterprise grade use case. Just imagine if there is 5, 10, 20, 30, 50, who knows? But outside of that, the number one thing that I have been focused on is also account growth. Now, you could argue that a lot of this is coming from Karate, which it is. A lot of this is coming from Karate. But year to date, 1.51 million active, not created, active accounts. There's well over 1.5 million accounts active on Hedera right now. Created accounts, 1.93 million. This is incredible to see. And like I said, a lot of this is through retail-driven use cases like Karate. But right now, if we actually take a quick look at the transactions, we are getting close to 62 billion, 2,400 TPS. You just love to see it. And I really do look forward to the day where these transactions really do result in Hbar having major fluctuations. And also, I look forward to the day where, these types of transactions, not only, billions, I look forward to the day where Hedera is generating so much revenue that it is pushing Hbar to the top 5 or even higher. These types of transactions, when we're talking about hundreds of millions, billions of transactions as well, that will happen in a day-to-day basis. I really do believe that it will. But we have to be a little bit patient when it comes to enterprise-grade applications. They do take some time, but I am looking forward to the future. Now, outside of this, let's talk about retail use cases. Gaming. Recently, the Hbar Foundation put out a great post regarding gaming projects. specifically the consumer side of things, and they highlighted the Consumer Engagement Fund, which is a part of the Hbar Foundation. Now, I've told you guys about gaming. Gaming right now, when it comes to Web3 and when it comes to crypto, is really not that big. And this is because retail's not here yet. You got to remember that the herd really isn't in crypto. This space is dead for the most part. I obviously see a lot more, faces coming around, but you got to remember that this market really isn't in an alt season. It's not in a, major, retail driven cycle just yet. That will happen. That's when gaming erupts in this space. And if we're talking about that eruption, well, we are also focused on GameFi on Hedera, because you got to remember that Hedera is the cheapest network to transact on. It's the fastest, it's the best one out there at this point in time. And if we really kind of look at this, guys, there's a lot going on. Lithos, for an example, has been around for a while, and it's definitely one that I have been focused on for a bit of time. I believe that around like 2022 is when they came out. This has been a project that I have been following for a bit of time now, and it is because of what they have been pushing. I obviously follow a lot of these gaming projects like Earthlings as well, which I think that they're doing an absolute amazing job on their metaverse. If you guys haven't checked out some of these projects, I highly suggest that you guys do. For an example, here is, July 15th. Just take a look at this trailer. Obviously, this is not real gameplay, but it just shows you like the type of quality that is being put in to some of these projects building out on Hedera. And this is one of the more retail driven use cases that I truly absolutely love to embrace and follow and support. And I think everyone, especially if you do hold Hbar and if you want to really support the ecosystem, because remember that you out there watching this video right now, yes, you can literally make a difference by supporting the ecosystem projects. There's not enough retail focus and there's not enough retail support when it comes to a lot of these projects. If Hedera is not going to support these retail projects, then it is up to us to do so. And we can make a big difference, especially even myself, when it comes to the platform that I have. So I really do think that we need to start focusing on a lot of these retail driven use cases. Now, let's talk about the real juiciness of this, which is Blackrock, right? Blackrock with their ETFs, this has been a big focus. Everyone has been focused on the ETFs. And now we have from BlackRock's investment chief, investors really want to get their ETH exposure. That's what they're saying here. Now we have crypto ETFs to hit model portfolios towards year end. And if we scroll down here, we have what will happen towards the end of this year and into next year is we will see allocations into model portfolios, which will give us much more of a steer into how investors are using them. So they have a big focus on the fact that ETF exposure and ETF adoption will continue. Obviously, I'm telling you guys, I'm de-risking into the end of this year because 2025, it's truly unknown. We don't know what's going to happen in 2025. But beyond that, BlackRock seems to have very, very ambitious goals when it comes to crypto and the entire digital asset space. Over here, going back to July 9th, remember that their tokenized treasury fund reached $500 million. And also they invested into Securitize around tokenization. They are going all in on tokenization, on the ETFs, and now they are investing $1 billion into DeFi. This is a very big deal because I keep telling you guys that DeFi is going to be the next big wave. DeFi, RWA, AI, it's the three big narratives that everyone needs to be focused on. Now, as we really look at this, how is Hedera fitting into the DeFi category? Well, I have been following the DeFi category when it comes to Hedera for a while. A lot of the DEXs and even the DeFi offerings on Hedera have been doing very good. They hit well over 160 million TVL. I think right now it's sitting a little over 70 million, possibly even 100 million. I haven't looked at it in a while. But outside of that, we now have the big security assessment for Bonzo Finance, which just got a complete audit from Hbar Security. Bonzo Finance, guys. An open source non-custodial lending and borrowing protocol based on Avi V2 and built on Hedera. This is going to be an absolute game changer for Hedera. And I keep telling you guys to focus on this. Outside of just the UI, this thing is going to ignite the DeFi space for Hedera, in my opinion. Borrowing and lending is the number 2 largest TVL grower around DeFi. And it's not just Bonzo Finance. It's Serio Finance as well, which, by the way, you're probably going to hear a lot more about Serio Finance. They did reach out to me and they actually want me to help them grow. And listen, if you're building out some legitimate projects and if you're in the Hedera scene, I'm obviously going to help out. So you're going to hear a lot more about Serio Finance. I really do think that this is going to be a game changer as well, because right on par with Bonzo, this is a lending protocol developed on Hedera. So I'm very, very excited about what's happening right now on Hedera. It seems as though a lot of the DeFi space is really kind of waking up now with the DeFi 2.0 push. And yes, also Filecoin and Lighthouse Web3 did partner up with Serio. This is regarding decentralizing our AI, decentralizing the AI that they offer as a B2B service, and also interoperability solutions. I'm actually very excited about this. I love the cross-chain initiative. I love collaboration between some legitimate projects in the space like Filecoin. I think that this is a very big deal. And of course, last but not least, I mentioned this in a recent video as well, H-Liquidity. Guys, all of these projects are now growing in TVL. There's 17.7 million Hbar locked in place on H-Liquidity. I do assume that this is going to continue to grow, but these are just 3 DeFi initiatives that are coming to Hedera. Just imagine what the DeFi space for Hedera is going to look like once we start to see a lot more builders, a lot more developers, which, by the way, there's a ton of them already on Hedera, really kind of building out some very solid DeFi initiatives. Guys, once we start to see the DeFi space for Hedera really ignite, and I mean really ignite and starting to really move up the ranks, once Hedera gets into like the top 15, possibly even the top 10 on DeFi Llama around the TVL, you're going to start to see a flood of developers coming over to Hedera to build, to launch products. I really think that this is the start. Lending and borrowing must be focused on, especially if you're focused on DeFi. I do think that BlackRock is now also going to be putting a very big spotlight on the DeFi sector. I think DeFi is so overlooked in this space. It's one of the largest things that crypto really has to offer. And it's one of those big areas that a lot of people are trying to bridge between TradFi and DeFi. And I think that BlackRock is going to pump a ton of money into it, ultimately leading to the DeFi space pumping in a large way, which could very well help Hedera also pump in a large way, because DeFi is going to have a lot more money tied to it, a lot more money trickling down the line, and Hedera will most likely see a lot of that as well, with a lot more offering coming to Hedera as well. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.